Hello fellow collectors and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy Deluxe Class Autobot Bumblebee. So this is in the Netflix packaging. This line is exclusive to Walmart and it's just kind of become mostly a line to repaint Siege and Earthrise figures to kind of make them more, in deco with the Netflix series that they're doing. They've done Siege already. Earthrise is happening at the end of this month and then Kingdom will be sometime after that. It's also kind of become a dumping ground for figures that couldn't make it into the normal line. So this is essentially Earthrise Bumblebee, but I guess he just didn't have room for him in the Earthrise line, so they decided to put him in this Netflix line. Now, being a Walmart exclusive, it's made him somewhat hard to find. I actually had Walmart fulfill my pre-order, which I was very surprised about and excited because that's not usually how it works for Walmart. But if you're looking for him, I would just check your normal stores, check Walmart's. This guy and Soundwave are very highly sought after, so good luck to all who would like to find one. But you have some pretty cool artwork of Bumblebee here on the side. I'll be honest, this is our first Bumblebee figure. I'm really surprised he didn't make it into Siege. They actually held out and they waited for Earthrise. I'm really surprised. I guess, now, and I've always said this, of all of the characters that should have had Siege releases, Bumblebee and Wheeljack, because they actually had weird Cybertronian alt modes in the More Than Meets the Eye 3-parter, neither of them showed up in Siege and both waited until Earthrise to just get their Earth modes. I don't know. In any case, here's that kind of standard picture we usually have over here on the side, but now done in black and white with some red. And then on the back, you can see robot mode, vehicle mode. He is a VW bug, which is pretty cool. They didn't just make him that same kind of, generic car that Hubcap and Cliff Jumper and Bug Bite all turn into. So they actually went back and made him a Beetle, which is pretty cool. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the packaging. I'm going to go ahead and get him out of there, and we'll take a closer look. So here is Bumblebee out of the packaging. And you should pretty much know what to expect at this point. We've had this mold 3 times already, but it's still a good mold. I will say I really do miss the Autobot symbol on the chest. It just looks really plain without it. I think it was the first Bumblebee Masterpiece, or I know at least Trax or somebody did in the Masterpiece line. They just had a little panel, and you had it solid colored in the alt mode, and then you would just flip it 180 degrees, and it had the Autobot symbol. Seemed really simple, very effective, and I don't understand why they can't implement something like that in the main line, because I completely understand why you don't want the Autobot symbol for the alt mode. You have this one down here on the hood of the car, which I do like. That's how it was in the show. But he needs something here. This is just a big field of mustard yellow, and it's just so plain and kind of a bummer. The other thing is, while I think the head sculpt looks good, either they didn't paint the eyes of my Bumblebee, or they painted it in such like a pale blue that he looks lifeless. The silver on the face looks good, but something about the eyes just, I don't know if they completely didn't paint mine, or it's just a very pale blue. But I'm thinking I need like a little marker or something just to kind of fill those in. At first I thought maybe it was going to be light piping, but he doesn't have any light piping. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with my Bumblebee's sad, lifeless eyes, but I need some kind of paint or something to get in there and fix that, make it pop a little bit. Otherwise, it's the same mold, like I said, what we're used to. You can go ahead and take the backpack off if you'd like, and he can use that as a shield. I don't typically bother with that. I usually just leave it on, but I'll leave it off for the rest of this little bit. Head is on a ball joint, so you have a little bit of top and bottom, but mostly just side to side. You have a hinge here in the shoulder as well as a rotation. You have a bicep swivel. You have a little bit more, well, I guess you have 180 degrees in the elbow because of the way it transforms. Then you have a swivel in the wrist. You do have a swivel in the waist, as you can see. And then you have kick this far in the hip. You can kick all the way to the back. You can kick out to the side. So really nice range of motion in the hip there. You do have a thigh swivel as well. 90 degrees in the knee, and then you do have some ankle tilt. So, I mean, he's a great little mold. I've loved it all 3 times I've had it already, and I was really happy that they did a new alt mode for Bumblebee, so he is actually a bug, which I love. Yeah, the only problem, like I said, I really miss the Autobot symbol here on the chest, and something is up with the eyes of my Bumblebee that maybe I can fix myself, but I don't know what quite happened there. I mean, I'll be honest, he's very small, and if you're just kind of looking at him head on, it's kind of hard to see that the eyes aren't painted, but it would be nice if they were just like a bright blue and really popped. But they're just, I don't know. I don't know what happened there. So I might, if I can find like a thin enough marker or something, I might just try to fill them in with a little bit of blue or something, just to hopefully make them pop a little bit because they look nice on the back of the box. And they just not the case on the toy itself. Now he does come with other accessories, which you've all seen before. He has the 2 guns. He's got this piece here, and then he's got the 2 skis. And of course, you can assemble them by popping them all together to make the large cannon. And then these act as the little stand for the sniper rifle, I guess. So you can get that going. Again, we've seen this. It's the same weapon with every time we've seen this mold, so nothing new or exciting there. But he does wield a giant gun, which is kind of hilarious for Bumblebee. But yeah, ultimately he looks good. Alright, transformation. If you've seen it before, it's exactly the same as all the other times we've seen this mold. So you're going to unhook this section, kind of unhook the shoulders here, bring this panel up to cover the head, and then bring this back down and close that up. You're going to come down to the feet. You're going to flip out these panels like so. You're going to rotate them up. And then when you do that, you can rotate up the wheel. So do that on both sides. You're going to spin the waist 180 degrees. And you can see that the spin is actually kind of up here in the torso as opposed to the actual waist. But you'll spin that. As you bend this forward, this will kind of flip around to the back. Just make sure you have enough clearance for all that. And you can kind of bring these up and get them out of the way. Now, as you bring this around, here on the arms, there is a small tab right there, which is going to tab in, if I can show you, right there. So you're going to bring this around, tab that in, and then kind of bend that 90 degrees. So make sure you rotate this down, peg that in, and this one's not tabbing in as much as I'd like it to, but I guess that'll work. So that tabs in there like so. This is going to come up and clip all in here. Then this will come up. I guess I should probably, let me untab this because it's probably easier to tab the feet together before you push that up. Yeah, there we go. Then that all tabs in together, and then you can see you've pretty much done, but you're thinking, hey, where's the whole rest of the car? That's what you have this shield piece for. So that rotates up into there, and then these 2 pieces here will just go into his fists. So you just push that down. And I don't know why I'm having such difficulty with this. There we go. And then you just tab it all on there. And boom, there is your tiny little Bumblebee alt mode. Now, I don't have this all 100% pegged in. You can see there's some gaps. But if you just play with it a little bit, you can get that all pegged in the way it's supposed to look. I think the alt mode looks great. I mean, it doesn't look like the super small truncated version of the VW Bug that he looked like in the show, but it looks like an actual VW Bug in real life. And I think they did a really nice job to remold this. I'm glad they didn't just give us the same alt mode that we've already seen 3 times. I'm really happy that they made him the Bug like he should be. He looks great, really he does. I think it's a great mold. I think they've done a great job remolding it. The one thing I will point out, though, all the other molds had a small peg hole right here so that you could peg this in. You can't do that this time, so he will not be able to have the giant gun of doom just pegged into the top of his car there. You should still be able to take it apart into its components and attach it as the kind of hydrofoil, water ski, whatever mode you want to call this. You can attach these. This should be able to open up like so. This pegs in here. This pegs in underneath there. And then you have the ski pieces that peg in right here near the wheels. So peg that in there and there. And then there you go. You have the kind of jet ski mode so you can surf on the water. So that's fun. I always like that mode. I think it's so dumb, but I love it at the same time. So we'll take all these pieces off But yeah, really, really nice job with the alt mode. Rolls well. Love what they did with it. I do really like the Autobot symbol there. Like I said, I wish he also had one. I understand why they didn't want two. Like I said, we just need that panel so it can rotate around. But yeah, ultimately, I really like the alt mode a lot. I think Bumblebee's pretty great. He's not perfect, but he's pretty great. Now, I believe this is the gun that's supposed to be his from that battle pack that Hasbro did. That came with like roller and the Energon cubes and all those extra accessories. I think this gun was meant for him, so just have him here holding it. But I really wish he had the Autobot symbol on the chest. I really feel like they could implement that panel. You just flip 180, especially because this whole piece flips out to flip that other panel up. So while you have it flipped out, you could easily rotate a little panel here and then flip it back up. I really wish they would implement something like that. Also, I don't know what's going on with his eyes. I don't know if mine just weren't painted or they're painted a very subtle blue that I just can't really see, so I might have to fix that on my own. But otherwise, he's really great. I do really like this mold. And while we're talking about the mold, let's go ahead and bring in all of his friends. We've got Bug Bite, we've got Cliff Jumper, we've got Hubcap. You know what, let's put, these two are the ones that started it all, so let's put them in the front. But I just think that's cool. Gotten this mold 4 times, and I'm honestly happy to have all 4 of them. I don't mind the excessive use of this mold because I feel like they're all pretty subtly different. Bug Bite does have the Bumblebee head sculpt, although his eyes are actually painted. You can see it all the way from here. But he has the remolding of the VW Bug. Then you have the Cliff Jumper head. Hubcap's got his own head. I love him. I just think it's a super fun mold, and I'm happy to have it 4 times. I don't even care. I love it. But you can see what I'm talking about, how Bug Bite has the faction symbol on his chest, and it really makes a difference. Really breaks up that giant field, especially with Bumblebee because they have larger windshields. So he's got even more dead space here, whereas he had, you know, a little bit minimal. So it really just needs an Autobot symbol there. I'm sorry, but it does. The other thing I wanted to point out real quick, if you're collecting the Netflix deluxe figures, they come with these backdrop pieces for Teletran, I guess the Ark in general, and I almost completely forgot about this and threw it out, so I wanted to just mention that it's in there, so if you are collecting those, do not forget to take that out of the box before you throw it away, because I almost missed it. But definitely still recommend picking up Bumblebee. Hopefully the paint thing for the eyes is just a QC issue for mine, and I'll have to see if I see other ones in the store eventually if they have more paint on the eyes. But it's really not that big a deal because sadly his head's kind of tiny. So when you just look at the figure, the eyes don't like jump out at you. And if I could find like a little paint marker or something, I might just be able to fix it myself. But really the Autobot symbol is probably the thing that bothers me the most. And it's not a deal breaker by any means because you do have this one down here on his foot. So at least you have some pop of color in the robot mode. But I just would really like it there on the chest. I still recommend picking him up if you can find him. I think he's worth grabbing because, of course, it's really our first Bumblebee in Siege and Earthrise, and we're pretty much done Earthrise at this point. So I'm surprised they went this long without giving us a Bumblebee, to be quite honest. But he's a good toy. Love the mold. And, yeah, recommend picking him up if you can find him. So I wish you luck, all hunters out there, because I know he's kind of hard to find. So hopefully everyone who wants one can get one. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And as always, thanks so much for watching.